We have so much money coming in, we're thinking about a little rebate, but the big thing we want to do is pay down debt. We're thinking about a rebate because we have so much money coming in from tariff that's a little rebate for people of a certain income level might be very nice.
That was Trump just talking about the rebate checks or stimulus checks that could go out to low income and no income people who need it the most. Could be as high as $1,200. Take a look at this. As Senate introduces bill for tariff rebate checks after Trump's suggestion, could be $600 per adult, $1,200 for a married couple, and up to $2,400 for a family of four. Now, the difference between this and the $5,000 Doge dividend check is there was no legislation for those $5,000 Doge dividend checks. Although with this, there is legislation introduced. All it needs is a simple vote, and you could get the $600 or $1,200 rebate checks from the tariffs. So this is really big development here. I'm going to give you all the information and let you know exactly who qualifies for these checks, as there is official legislation for it. I'll give you some other important updates as well. Before I dive into the main content, if you appreciate these videos on Social Security and stimulus updates, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more updates like these. All right, so Trump says he's considering rebate checks for Americans based on tariff revenue. Also, another one right here, Trump suggests giving out rebates from billions in tariff revenue, right? So this is sort of like the Doge dividend check all over again, but it's much different because we actually have official legislation that could actually tell you exactly how much you're going to get, who's going to get it, right? An actual bill. We didn't get that with the $5,000 Doge dividend check. So let's get into that. But first, I want to let you know about the other stimulus checks, how much it was, what you were getting. So for the first payments was $1,200 for individuals making $75,000, $2,400 to couples making up to $150,000. Those were given out in March 2020. We all remember that, the first round of stimulus checks. Then it was the second round, which was $600 and $1,200 for married couples. That came out in December of 2020. Then the third and final stimulus check was $1,400, $1,400 for individuals, $2,800 for couples, and this was approved in March 2021, about a year later from the first round of stimulus. All in all, that came out to $814 billion in federal relief money, which was dispersed over all three handouts, all three rounds of stimulus checks, right? So just to give you an idea. Also, just to give you a reference point, in early 2008, most taxpayers making under $75,000 received a $300 for individuals or $600 for couples. That was to help off the recession back in 2008, right? So this past round of stimulus was, although it was very generous, still not enough for those who are struggling the most and those who are the most vulnerable in our society. I think it definitely could have been a lot more, could have helped a lot more people. But just to give you an idea there of what the past was like, what we can see in the future. Now let's get into this legislation right here. So Senate introduces bill for tariff rebate checks after Trump suggestion. So Senator Hawley, this is coming from him. You may remember him. He's a Republican senator from I think it's Missouri. I think it's Missouri. All right. So Senator Josh Hawley on Monday, so this is yesterday, introduced a bill to send tariff rebate checks to American families, which would be similar to the stimulus checks sent during COVID-19. If enacted, the American Worker Rebate Act of 2025 would provide at least $600 per adult and dependent, or $2,400 for a family of four, according to a statement from Hawley. And the bill allows for a larger rebate if tariff revenue exceeds projections, which I love that part of it. Meaning that, let's just say you reach the quota to get your $2,400 for your family, or if you're an individual, $600 for you. But what if it gets even higher? If the tariff revenue brings in twice as much as projected, then you could get an even higher check. So whatever the final amount, the benefit would be reduced by 5% for joint filers with an adjusted gross income above $150,000, and or for couples, and then single filers $75,000. So it would phase out 5% there. The Senate bill comes after Trump on Friday telling administration that he was thinking about a little rebate. So I like the idea of this, because if the country is improving, making extra money, and a lot of people were skeptical of tariffs, not fully for it, and let's just say it makes the country a lot of money, why not give a piece to the American people? Why not? So what Hawley said here is, like President Trump proposed, my legislation would allow hardworking Americans to benefit from the wealth that Trump's tariffs are returning to this country. However, it's unclear whether the proposal has broad Republican support. So yeah, basically, I'm gonna show you the video clip. It's gonna go over a lot of the numbers. I just don't want to repeat things that you'll already see, but take a look at this. This is coming from Fox Business, so some people are for this, some are against it. You're gonna hear different perspectives on this, but I think it's really important you learn more about this. Could be $600 checks coming your way if the tariffs work out. Take a listen.
We have so much money coming in, we're thinking about a little rebate, but the big thing we want to do is pay down debt. We're thinking about a rebate because we have so much money coming in from tariff that's a little rebate for people of a certain income level might be very nice.
You heard of the Doge dividend. Well, how about a tariff tip? President Trump says America's tariff revenue windfall could show up directly in Americans' bank accounts. He is leaving the door open for rebate checks after customs revenue hit record highs in June. I think we've pulled in $100 billion so far this year.
That's right, yeah. 300
is projected by the end of the year. But critics say America needs to put all this money towards its massive debt pile, still sitting around $36 trillion. And for me, I'm a little bit mixed on this one. I think we've given out enough stimulus, and, you know, the money's been taken from people already, so to credit it back, and he said for certain people of a certain income level, I think that's questionable, because people of other income levels have paid into this too. The Doge dividend is coming out to roughly $1,200 a person with respect to what they've been able to bring in. They're doing the baby savings bonds, or accounts, which I understand because the birth rate is dropping. It's like, how much of this can you do? We've got a debt problem. Instead of whipping Jerome Powell and saying you got to take 300 basis points off the Fed funds rate, let's pay down some of our debt with this extra saving.
I can't tell, are you a fan of Powell or not?
No, I don't like him, but I mean, I'm just saying.
Just observing the facts of what's happening right now. Well, it says above my head, it says tariff surplus. And but we don't really, we're getting tariff revenue, but we definitely don't have a surplus.
No, I know.
If we've got a surplus, I am all for getting money back to Americans. I'm all for cutting taxes, even when we have a deficit, and then holding the government accountable to cut their spending. But we don't have a surplus. Whatever tariff revenue we're getting is not, it's not even coming close to covering the interest we pay on our debt. So, but I do, having said that, one thing about the president I do get on this is he wants people to understand that the things he's doing do have real world positive consequences for them. Now, you can argue about tariffs if you want to. So that's why he wants to do this stuff. And in politics and in life, there is something about tangibly helping people see that they're getting a benefit from a policy so that they support it and don't go to the other side, which we've got plenty of, which is promising free rent, free groceries, free buses, all this stuff. He's playing I think a smart political game, even if I'm disagreeing with the fact that we should have a rebate.
It's consistent with his strategy, too, because think about, he's arguing we can outgrow our debt problem, right? How do you help that along this way? Show Americans tangibly, look, this came back in. And guess where that money's going to go? We saw it during COVID. It's going to go into the economy in different ways.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about, because some projections show the deficit's going to balloon by $3.4 trillion over the next 10 years. Some estimates are lower than that when you factor in the growth that will come as a result of the Trump economy and the engine all working together. But having said that, there was a lot in the bill that many people didn't support. There was spending in the bill that was difficult to pull the reins back in on because once it's out there, it's out there. And so should we be using the tariff revenue or the DOGE savings to then cut some of those numbers down?
Yeah, so those CBO estimates are wildly inaccurate, right? If there's a new one out from Torsten Slok saying that if you factor in AI, it's actually going to be less of a deficit spending. So AI is deflationary. But here's my thing. Every mainstream American knows every single politician has wasted money sometime in their career without your permission. Is $1,200 really going to make a difference? Every American getting that qualifies really going to make a difference on our deficit?
I guess that's what I'm also
right? So
questioning.
I think this is more marketing and fulfilling just your promises of, hey, I'm going to do these things. And to Brian's point, I'm going to show you tangible proof that I did them and they had a positive outcome. And then let's move forward. Because this single check is not going to change Washington's penchant for runaway spending.
Call me crazy, but wouldn't that be inflationary between the tax cuts, basically another stimulus kind of check, and the baby savings accounts, all this money that's going out and consumption out there? That says to me, uh-oh.
Yeah, anytime you give people more money, they're going to spend it. And if they spend it, in theory, that's inflationary. Yes, I agree. The problem is I'm not sure that people can tangibly appreciate, understand, grasp, whatever the right expression is, that, yes, we've taken this money from these other countries or companies in other countries, and we're using it to pay down the debt. Really? I mean, the debt is up here.
I know.
And what we're collecting is
But you have to start somewhere.
I mean, so, what have you really accomplished? Not much.
What are your thoughts with this? The tariff checks, the rebate checks, stimulus checks. I'm not sure what to call it at the moment. I think tariff checks is probably the best name in my opinion. What are your thoughts? What's the best name for these type of checks? Do you think it's going to happen? I know many people are rolling their eyes, saying, I'll believe it when I see it in my account. I think that's a healthy form of skepticism, but still want to just give you the latest on what's going on with this. Stay tuned. Any updates that come out with these checks, I will let you know as soon as it comes out. So stay tuned for that. And that is all the news that I have for today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Belle's tip of the day.
Oh, guys, I didn't see you there. Hi, guys. This is Belle's tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing that you should do when you feel something. When you feel something like happy or sad, tell someone. Be exposed. Show the whole world what you feel. Sorry, I was dreaming. So, anyways, that was all I wanted to say for today. Bye.